Welcome back, folks. Apologies for the interruption in coverage. I was reading as still broadcast so far. He is just trying to better that time with into the final corner we go. Will this be any quicker than the 1:24.234 he's managed so far? It is a 24.615, so no quicker this time out. We will ride with BX Royal in the Toyota. Sorry, in the Toyota, I think it's the Nismo. That BX Royal is in. Oh, that's the worst way to start the long straightaway on the south side of the circuit. So as we go over the line here, oh, he's got to go through the tunnel. But a personal best at the moment. Let's ride with Iggy and see. We won't see his sector time just yet. It is coming up. Is it between the two hairpins now? It is, and he's no quicker. So let's see about BX Royal then, who is gunning for front row at very least here for the standing start of our sprint race. I dare say it's not quite as difficult to get through the corners as it seems on track. Let's see, and he's slower again, unfortunately, this time across, as is Iggy. Looks like the track not quite where it was performance-wise, with both the top runners unable to post faster times. We are on the final laps now, as the drivers are parking up once they've crossed the line. So Lars in third. Let's see, sprinting to the line underneath the footbridge and across the line then Lars, no quicker again. Soft tyres I think for everybody. Looks like Howlin' Jimmy might have damage, or was he just loose on the car? He was a little bit loose there. BR4 is parked up, going no quicker, but there is a group of cars coming towards the line now to finish their final laps here in qualifying. Across the line, no changes at the very front just yet. CMP from 6th place, no improvement. Zimmy is in 7th, Simon K in 8th, Mackies is in 9th position in the Ford GT, then Moosh 10th, Da Filthy. There is BX Royal. He's in the pits, so he's reading as 13th, but I think he's much higher than that, maybe 5th or 6th. But in terms of our championship at the moment, Iggy leads us away on 205 points, 23 ahead of BX Royal. And if things get a little dull during the sprint race, we will focus on that then. But for now, it's the grid has formed. We've got Zimmy in 3rd place currently on 154 points. He is 51 off the lead. It is a 2-horse race with 2 races to go, and it's time to get underway. There was a hint of a jump start from P4 there, but it's lights out and go away from the start with Iggy getting away cleanly here in the sprint race, and BX Royal worried more about Lars in 2nd place than he is about taking 1st place from Iggy, and round the outside goes Lars, positions himself on the inside for the hairpin, upsets the balance of the car, mini spin there, and loses some momentum away. Looks like the Toyota of BR4 boxed in, but managing to buck draft the Nismo of BX Royal all the way through and into the 2nd sector of the racetrack. BR4 good top speed, but BX Royal is slowing and claiming the apex. Apologies, I'm getting a warning on screen again. Hopefully we will stay with you. Iggy is in 1st from BX Royal and BR4, and then Lars in 4th, Zimmy in 5th, just flashing through in that position, and then behind them CMP, Howlin' Jimmy in the red and white new to us Supra livery, then Mackies in the pink Ford GT, T-Pos in 9th, Da Filthy Moosh, and then Simon K Leper in 13th position. But Iggy leads them into lap 2 of this 15-minute sprint, well ahead of BX Royal, who he needs to keep behind him for the sake of the championship, although probably could afford to just follow him home if he wanted to. I'm sure he doesn't. BH4 in third is holding off the attack coming from Lars here. Get too greedy at the apex and you will mess up your momentum coming out of the hairpin. Looks like BR4 and Lars are going to be side by side down this long straight, but the advantage here of the Toyota on top speed seems to be quite clear. I think that's an aerodynamic advantage over the 911 RSR. Claiming the inside line going into the right-hander of turn number 9 in the reverse order at least. I don't know whether to hold turn numbers in the normal direction or in reverse. I think it's better to number them in reverse so you know where you are. 18 corners in total, and the leaders are going through turns 13 and 14 at the moment. The leaders have already put on a good 2.5 seconds on the battle for third place here, which is soon to be a three-way battle as they round the final corner then. All important exit here, and Lars joining him on board as we try to pin the progress of P3 up in front. Slipstream is taking effect and is enabling Lars to get close here. I have a feeling that he's going to have a go into the hairpin, but no, it was in fact BR4 secure down into the corner. Lars looking at a narrow exit, and Zimi with really good progress through the hairpin has brought himself level here. It's Iggy from BX Royal, but this battle for fourth has just on nose against Lars and Zimi. Lars' top speed working, and there's a bit of a hassle down into the right-hander of turn 9, sorry, with CMP and Howlin' Jimmy, newcomer to the league, hoping to not blot his copybook at all. But there is Mackey's then the head of the midfield in P8 and bringing the rest of the field with him, but he's managed to get away here with the, again, top speed of the Ford GT will help him in this very straight dominated first and final sectors of the racetrack. Just a quick look then back at the front as Iggy has put a 1.5 second gap on second place. BR4 some 3.4 seconds away from Iggy, and then Lars and Zimi the fourth and fifth positions. CMP and Howlin' Jimmy are going to be very close still. Indeed they are. So going into the start of this race, we saw Lars in fourth place on 147 points, CMP in fifth on 92, BR4, Mackey's, Lepers, Van der Speck, Moosh, your top 10. But Iggy's job here today is to win both races and have BX Royal finish lower than fifth in each in order to win the championship. Looking super likely at this current time, but anything can happen, of course. It's only a short 8 meeting championship, 16 race, and multiple permutations available. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be with you next week. On-track commentary duties call, I'm afraid, but we will try to bring you coverage either live if we can find a replacement, or I will do a re-live broadcast of it into next week. Personal best lap time there at 25 seconds. 0.050 for Zimi. Time out. As the guys at the front continue to be fairly stable and have decent gaps between them. Zimi, Lars, BR4 in reverse order, fifth, fourth and third. Just a tiny amount slower, 4 thousandths of a second slower than his best through sector 1. Lars starting to really hassle the back of the Toyota now. only a 15-minute race. We are approaching halfway point. Yeah, soft tyres holding up pretty well at this stage, because they have to start on full tank of fuel. Once again nicely out of the final corner, turn 18, getting a great slipstream here. He's going to have to peel aside, otherwise he'll be touching the back of the Toyota. A mini left-hand turn is coming, but he wants to stay on this side of the track to try and get down into the inside. There's an attempt here, Zimi to follow through, and both of them struggle through the hairpin, getting loose. Zimi really having a problem there, and BR4 slipping through. Try and get that place back from Lars, who held on. I thought Zimi was going to get past both of them at that point, but the exit everyone else was having could be that there's a little bit of lag or server connection problem, because it's clearly affecting my connection as well as BX Royal. This track really in this particular direction as well, really favouring Iggy at the moment. It's working really well for him. Reminder, Iggy has had 2 double wins in week 3 and week 6. Week 5 scored a 2nd in the sprint and a 1st in the feature. Double 2nd places in week 1 and just one poor weekend really. So maybe 2 poor weekends by his high standards, week 2 and week 4, but it really has been a fantastic run. BX Royal missed week 2 and is still only 23 points away from Iggy, with a slightly more consistent string of scores. But of course with Iggy having 2 double wins, BX Royal has a 1st and 3rd weekend, a 1st and 2nd weekend, and 1 double win at week 1. So it didn't go Iggy's way to start with this championship, but he has brought himself very much back to the front. He's your reigning champion. At the head of that midfield in P6 is CMP. Mackey's has got past Motion, is in 7th, so Mackey's moving forward as well. Next comes T-Pos, Simon K and Lepa, and then there's a bit of a break between before finding Howling Jimmy defending very hard going into the right-hander of turn 9. Jimmy has slipped down a lot, and then we've got Lepa, Da Filthy, and CMP right at the back. Strangely, he's obviously had a big moment in the last sector. Iggy though, 3.5 seconds now at the lead of the race, away from BX Royal, who himself has a 4-second lead over Lars in 3rd. Lars has a penalty to pay though. That's going to hurt down the long run of the south side of the circuit. Expect to see him passed by BR4 and possibly Zimi as well. Good to have Aero watching with us. I think possibly watching from work. Again, Aero, is that can you confirm? So I know you've struggled to take part in this season. We've missed you in hosting duties today. Race 2, fantastic. As BR4 does prosper after that penalty for Lars, who tries to hold on here. Well, that brings Zimi. It brings Zimi past BR4 there, and through the apexes then, ignoring the little dip of turn 8. It is absolutely chaotic between these 3. Anybody's guess who's going to finish ahead. Lars and BR4 side by side again, going through the technical section. Lars is sideways and BR4 down the inside, but there's plenty of room for 2, 3, 4 cars to run side by side through the final corner here in the reverse direction race. We are 11.5 minutes deep into a 15-minute race. Side by side go Lars and BR4 once again, having a great battle here, trading paint, going through the flat out turns. BR4 down into the apex. Coming out of the corner very smoothly for once for these three. Mackies is still at the head of that group, having prospered from the drop down from CMP. So for Ford in the championship, who lead by 13 points over Nissan. This is looking good for them. Once again, Lars and BR4. Lars in the Porsche. BR4 taking way too much apex through turn 8 that time. Lars getting miles ahead. Zimmy is getting away from these two now that he's managed to get the gap and get himself out of problems. Iggy, his lead now 4 seconds. BX Royal has 6.4 though, ahead of second place Zimmy. Huge gap between the two of them. Lars has managed to get back to 4th, and there is BR4. Then we've got Mackies, who's managed to find some space now in 6th place, ahead of T-Pos and Simon K, who is having a big